FFMEDIA. Whatever it costs. I'm down here in Allenburg. We got a little more time. My people come and see me. Going from straight right here. We down to Scully's tonight. Ball water.
Shout out to all the haters.
Welcome back to my channel. I have the pleasure of sitting here with the one and only Streetz. I've checked out your music and I see that you have a calling to talk about things like mental health and wellness. And I struggle with depression sometimes. I was diagnosed with PTSD. And I'm really fortunate to sit here and talk to you about that, because the music industry, we don't really talk about mental health.
Oh, and that's kind of where it came from in a certain extent. Like it was when I looked around, like it just like you always having the same type of issues. There was nothing for people like us. You know, you had Jeezy that tell you how to sell 100 bricks. You had a kid tell you how to go get your gun and load it up. There had nobody to tell you how to get through your day though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There had nobody to tell you what to do when there was just trauma and pain that you hadn't dealt with. And what really I came with it from, it was just me being myself all in general. When you deal with an anxious when everybody's pretending to be something else, so they show you the highlight reel on the internet. They show you them getting a job. They show you them buying a new car. They don't show you their divorce papers. They don't show you that they're struggling to raise their child who they were supposed to be, or things they're going through in life. So I just decided to reverse that around, try to make a long answer shorter. I came in with my flaws first, things that I was insecure with just about me, so you couldn't take them from me. And that kind of led to that mental health chapters. And that's what it was. And when part one did what it did, we ended up going on to 2, 3, and 4, and each one's actually been higher charting on the iTunes album we started.
I saw.
And so I'm real proud of it. We built our own little community together, me and my fans.
That's dope. That's really dope. And it's important that in this day and age we are talking about wellness and making sure that we are reaching our goals in a healthy way. Can I ask, what brought on this wave of consciousness to make you say, you know what, I think that I need to talk about this in order to kind of change it and move the consciousness forward? What happened to make you bring that about?
My grandmother was murdered in Sherman, Texas. That's where the whole thing happened. My grandmother was murdered about 4 years ago, and the place that I ended up in life when that happened, it just kind of, it broke the rules of life for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, her name was Annie Ray. She's probably one of the greatest people I've ever met, period. You know, wanted to help everybody and do things like that, raise her family. She's the nicest person in the world. Didn't really deserve what she got. When that happened, I just didn't, there was no rules to anything to me after that. So when I decided, I was really almost done with music at the time, and I decided to give it one more shot. My last message with her was, you know, you chase this dream, you do what you need to, and you do it for yourself. So it was really all just in honor of her name that I would make these songs. But along this path, those songs would happen to be the ones that finally drew me up and through the roof. Yeah, I would release a song called "Going Through It" that would go viral on TikTok right during the COVID pandemic, and lead me to my first record deal.
What?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So COVID, I'm telling you, when I went through COVID, I spent time by myself, single person, living alone.
Okay.
It definitely had those moments where I was like, I don't know if I'm going through something or if this is just COVID happening.
Right.
And were there any influences in music or art and culture that you turned to during that time that helped you to kind of get through the whole quarantine season?
I spent a lot of that time doing content for TikTok. Because see, in my mind, what I was thinking to myself is that we all had a level playing field there. You don't really get that in music a lot. You know, the game set up when nobody can go outside, everybody's on their phone. So just as good as big as Drake was, or not, Drake is Drake, of course. Everybody was on a level playing field to where I could have people's attention. So I spent a lot of that time doing more consistent music, more targeted music, I guess you could say. Because to this day, I've never bought an ad. That's what's so great about what I do. Everything has been organic from the get-go.
I love that.
It was just, it's just me. So if they're around and they're coming to see me, it's really just because they want to be. But I used that time to actually do that build. So it was actually really simple. So a lot of people had to work off. Is when I first started doing my most work ever.
Nice. So I love organic content. I'm a digital media strategist, and I help other artists put their content out, and I do love the whole organic aspect to that.
Yeah.
But I also, you know, being a digital media strategist, I help with ad placements as well.
Right.
What advice can you give to artists that are just now coming into using their social media to kind of get notoriety? Independent artists, because it's a hard game.
Yeah,
it really is hard.
You're not lying. Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to them as an independent artist to use whatever avenue that they have to get their music heard?
I would say consistency is always going to be your first game. Consistency is always going to be what it is, because what most rappers don't get, when I try to tell them when I talk to them, is that, you know, it's like a New Year's Eve revolution. At the beginning of the year, everybody's got something they're going to want to do.
Right.
So the time is flooded. There's Time, Joe, Larry, Jamar, June, and Adam. They all going to be rappers, right? But if you go 2-4 weeks down the road, Tom and Adam are gone. You know what I'm saying? You go a few more weeks down the road, Larry and June finna stop. You know, but people can see this. So if you can be one of those people who can last outside of that to show this is what you're doing, because they say it takes the mind 7 times before you it sticks in it. You got to see it 7 times before you get it. If you can outlast those folks and be consistent in what you're doing, your content will get better like throughout the as you go. Mine was horrible in the beginning, and I still do a lot of it on my phone. I end up beating out those people. You can shine brighter, and that's without you spending a dime. Be a consistent presence on this internet, and don't ever be too cool for it. But that's what people's most problem is. Yeah, they're too cool to sit there every single day because of other people who can't. If you want to work the internet and be in this game and we call it, then work it that way.
Yeah. Because
some people go to work every single day if they're not doing entertainment. We got to do the same thing.
Exactly, it's a full-time job. I don't think people understand, especially independent artists. They look at people who are signed to major labels and they think that they can do the same thing, but they don't understand that there is large amounts of money and ad spend going into that.
Oh yeah, plenty.
In that aspect, would you say that independent artistry versus signing with a label, what are your ideas surrounding that? Because the music industry is changing a whole lot.
A whole lot. I would say how much work do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? It was so when independence always comes in, like it sounds great, like owning masters and things like that, and just being on yours. But when you go into independence, that means you're doing those uploads yourself. You're finding the video editors yourself. You're responsible to do the marketing job. Like labels have a department for everything, for marketing, for mixing, for recording, for radio placements, whatever it is. When you decide to do independent, you're the only thing that's left in there. So you are in every single one of them departments. So what you're doing is you decide how much you want to give up to have people do these things for you, which is necessarily be signing with the label, or how much you're going to do to do it on your own if you're willing to do that work. I'm not sure. I've been on both sides of the fence, and honestly, I wasn't sure what I would recommend. Because it's just so self-determined. I would say we'll work out whatever works for you best.
Yeah. Do what's best for you. That's the only thing that we can say, right?
Yeah, never let anybody take. You never know. Some people may need that money. Some people might want to play the long game. Some don't. I decided to play the long game with mine all the way, and it seemed to work out. Yeah, because what I had did organically wasn't supposed to happen anyway. You're supposed to do these ads. You're supposed to have to run on this other. The only reason I didn't, it's not like I didn't want it to. I'd done all the studying and all of that. I just didn't have the money at the time. You know what I mean? And so it was when I didn't have it. Me not having the money was turned into my consistency on the internet. So if I couldn't be there, I would do everything outside of it. And it seemed to work. So I mean, I might be building a strategy that people haven't seen in a while, but I'm also not one of those. A lot of people who grew up at TikTok with me around the same time, they're gone, and that was 4 years ago. And I'm at my highest charting album yet as of last week.
I know that's right.
Yeah, so
I know that's right. He's still here. He's still with us. He is in Columbus, Ohio, with us.
Sir,
I'm really grateful that I got to sit down with you. I do want to ask one more thing in regards to your following.
Okay.
What is something that you could share with your following, and even independent artists or even people that are signed to a label? What's something that you can share that you think will inspire them to be their greater self, continue to pour into their mental health, and just be the greatest version of themselves that they can be?
I tell you something, I'll tell them the same thing I'm learning right now. There's so many everybody's already them. Right, so you can imitate it, you can do whatever you want to, but it's never going to replace what they are. The only thing the world hasn't seen yet is exactly who you want to be or decide to be. So like, and that can make it a whole lot easier for you. Living in just you, whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? Well, mine just happened to be mental health, and going through with songs to stay away from me turned out to be something that the rest of the world decided they needed. So do me a favor and learn from me, and don't waste 5-7 years trying to figure out how to be everybody else when being you works right there. That'd be my best advice.
Be yourself. Be yourself. Well, thank you again.
No
I really
problem.
appreciate it. I'm
me.
definitely going to check out the show. Where can they find you?
On all social medias and streaming platforms, Mac Streetz, M-A-C, Streetz with a Z.
All right. Thank you for checking out Flutterfly Media. Thank you so much to Rap A Lot Midwest Fuji Malaya for putting me on to this wonderful artist.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you guys again. Maybe I'll show you a little bit of the show later, but maybe not, because if you ain't got no tickets, you missed out.
Exclusive, but you have to come to her channel to get these exclusives.
Exactly.
There we go. Yeah. I tell my
hatred and envy, they the enemy made. Why should I be ashamed of the blame that you basic? You niggas ain't beast, I can see in they face. Better not get me started. I came out that war purple hearted. They lied and I'm winning regardless. All I do is ride like I ain't learned to park it outside with a bitch by the stick is Miss Park.